Hello, folks. We're just
Hello.
figuring out that we had the wrong times, wrong dates, wrong everything. So, anyway, welcome to Sunday. If you're here, we love you. We
Thank you,
appreciate your forbearance.
thank you, Carrie. Yeah, I checked the date and it said, yeah, I hit the wrong date when I set it up. So people got notifications if they.
And we want to give Carrie Dye a medal for being up at 1:45 in the morning and giving a damn if we put the wrong date on.
Oh, darn it. So anyway, yeah, I got starting a little bit early. I got a family event to get to, so my nephew's getting married and a little shindig prior to the wedding we're invited to.
Ah,
So and in an hour-ish, your son is gonna come on.
right.
Until
Sean will be here.
Sean's gonna come on and talk about some interesting things in an hour.
Hmm.
So
And we're going to talk about the uninteresting things for the next hour, the first hour. We'll talk about the weather and
yeah, let's I do weather. Good morning, good morning, good morning. That kind of messes up things when you have the wrong date on and people don't get notified if they. Hi, Jeff. Yep, got an event. Okay, what's gonna happen with Aaron here? Last I seen, models show it's gonna stay out, but let's see.
well, it was heading to Puerto Rico, so I was a little worried about Vivian, who's a friend of mine that lives down there.
I seen there's another storm gonna hit Texas possibly.
They can hit Texas. Vivian lives in Puerto Rico. It's going to, what I got is it's going to veer, and then it's going to sit for a while. You know, when I do that, it really freaks them out. It just sits there. But then it's going to go the way they want it to. It's going to head up more up the East Coast. But it's the big storm. It's a magician. It can do what it wants. It's a category 5 sitting out there in the Atlantic.
Tarot cards on hurricanes.
Mm-hmm.
So I have Ace of Cups, that's security and helping hand. Then I have people are burdened, worried about it, and then Nine of Wands is. Do I have my lights on? I can't see well. Need to step out. So then I get other good cards. So I don't think it's going to be damaging.
I don't think it's. I think it's going to sit and move around weird, but I don't think it's going to. It's not going to be that easy for them to predict, but it's going to be okay.
Yeah. So I have King of Cups, Queen of Cups, then Seven of Swords.
Mm-hmm.
So that just means it can be unpredictable, I think, with the Seven of Swords. But King of Queen,
Really, aren't they? Aren't they unpredictable unless there's like a whole stream of them and one's pushing the next one, pushing the next one, and this one's just sitting out there all by itself, going,
yeah.
"Which way do I go?"
Oh, people are worried about the one after. Yeah.
Mm,
Well, hurricanes just started.
right.
Hurricane season just fired up. A little bit of wind, a little bit of rain, probably. Doesn't seem to be. Oh, for heck of it. What about what comes after?
Okay. Will the whole hurricane season be difficult?
Yeah. How about moving forward hurricane season?
Okay.
Thank you. The question D. Laura. Start. Okay. Hurricane season moving forward.
my God, it's not going to be that bad. They're going to threaten us with really bad storms through the whole thing. But it's at the end, that's temperance. For those of you who don't know this deck. But I asked if it was going to be bad, and I got a no. No, the fool. It's going to make good choices. It's not going to be that harmful and upsetting to people. Not going to disrupt people's homes, and not going to be that costly. So, not having FEMA wins on my cards. How does not having FEMA win on your cards?
I got unpredictable strength and loss of money.
Oh,
Five of Pentacles. So strength, moon, and Five of Pentacles.
mm.
This is in the past position though.
Oh, okay.
So we did have a lot of, losses last year and whatnot.
Oh God, yeah, we had the ones that went right up into
I think it means being unpredictable. But in the current, I have Queen of Wands, Empress, and the Tower. So the Tower would represent a bad one coming. But there's protection around it.
Right.
We're going to see damage, but there's some kind of protection. Like what it feels like it might burst in, do some damage, and then come and leave.
Or it appears to be heading in a much worse trajectory. I mean, if you're where the storm hits, you're hit 100%, right? So
yeah. So it feels like minimal damage, like it will come in, but not stay in the landfall or like go and just like comes in and then dissipates.
We all have. I like people in Florida, and I have friends in Florida, but we all have one place in Florida we would love for the storm to go.
Just a quick hit.
Just a quick hit. Just enough to blow up all the gilded gold stuff he bought at Michael's and decorate the place with.
I don't know. My outcome cards of more storms isn't that good. My 4 outcomes: 5 of Wands, 10 of Swords, 9 of Cups, and 7 of Swords. So I don't think it's going to be over with this one.
No.
No. I think I see damage in another one later.
Okay.
There might be another one that does a little damage, but this one here doesn't look good. With it. The 5s and the 7 of Swords are kind of like unpredictable, but the 10 of Swords does a lot of damage too, along with in a tower.
Yeah, if I was I wouldn't want those 2 cards.
Okay, Morris yeah, Jesus, yeah. Ridiculousness. South Carolina sent 200 troops to DC also.
How do Americans feel about this, Laura? Have you seen the videotape of the women's soccer game where the entire stands was chanting "Free DC"?
I haven't heard that. Well, Vance has been on vacation more than done anything last 6 weeks. He's spending a lot of our money. But raising the river
in Ohio.
Yeah, that was ridiculous. Had the Corps of Engineers release water so he can enjoy a kayak. Let's see. the universe says there's an
Are they
investigation.
sure they were doing it for that, or were they trying to set up whirlpools they couldn't get them out of?
Is there an investigation?
No, I get no.
I do. I don't know. I think something like they wanted to,
They
but
may have
it
discussed.
wouldn't. But it wouldn't be investigated.
Yeah.
I think maybe like someone in the Army Corps of Engineers is like, this is ridiculous. That
Mm-hmm.
kind of feeling. This is a waste of money, a waste of our time for him, that kind of thing. But
Mm-hmm.
then I have protection around any investigation.
Right. I mean, if the best I can get them for is raising the level of the river, well, if you live on the river, that's not a nice thing.
But JD's getting booed in England area.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
But England has nothing to stand and be proud about. They passed a law that you can't speak in favor of the Palestinian state.
Good morning, Nancy. Hi, Diana. Okay. Steven saying, I see this hurricane season strong when Saturn retrogrades back. Okay.
Okay.
I don't, I still see them happening. It's just whether they do the damage we expect or not. Why is he taking so many vacations?
Because he doesn't have anything to do.
Because he can. They can grift.
He can grift. He can get to see all these places. He can try to build some sort of. They can say, look, he was knowledgeable. He went all over the world.
I don't think wifey likes him much.
Maybe he keeps moving so they can't plant bombs around him. Who knows?
Melania threatening to sue Hunter Biden. Yeah, I seen that. It also came out in a new book about the royals that Melania had coitus with Epstein a year before 45 did.
Aww. Well, I don't think he understood he was marrying a blushing virgin in the first place. So.
No, I don't see any lawsuit happening. As they say, discovery will be fun.
Mm-hmm.
I got worries on. It's just threats. It's just threats because discovery will be fun with page of coins.
Yeah, she can't do it because they can't stand the truth to come out.
It's just the Trump way.
It's just. Look, we're talking about that. What other stupid things are we not talking about? That Trump thinks that Alaska is still part of Russia.
Lutnick's son is betting on tariffs.
Who?
Howard Lutnick's son is betting on the tariffs.
To do what? Break us?
Well, he's making money on it.
Oh.
Like on the poly market betting or something. Insider information, they know when 45
Well,
is.
Choosing what gets tariffed and who gets tariffed, you're picking the winners and losers in your own economy.
Laura Loomer. She had someone else fired again.
Really?
Yeah, I can't remember who it was, but she made it some statements or called them up or something, and
Well,
someone else.
she said that. Did you see that when she was testifying somewhere, and she said, "Well, everyone in the White House knows that Lindsey Graham's gay." She just threw that into the thing, and you're kind of going, "Well, yeah, MAGA really doesn't like her. That's fine. That just means that gives them some glimmering of humanity."
He is definitely obsessed with Nobel Peace Prize.
He is definitely, and
it's like he's got a war with President Obama's achievement.
yeah, because I never understood Obama getting it that quickly, but you know.
But the last thing 45 would do is step down unless he had an agreement for a full pardon. Because those indictments can come back for J6. They weren't thrown away, so J6 and the documents can come back on them. And they still got the states to worry about. It's just amazing how all these other lawsuits just got bogged down. Georgia, Michigan, Wisconsin, Arizona for the state electors, they're all on a standstill. Just unreal. Okay, I'm looking. Did Trump promise to give Putin access to Bering Straits or land? Okay. I don't think so, but let's see what the cards say. The 45 promise.
He can agree to do anything. He can sign it on his little petitions, but we've all seen how far those things get. Within 48 hours, they're proved to be illegal. It's like him saying, now they're giving all the money back to ASID because the court came in and said, no, that money was promised by a different Congress that you have no control over. That's money that's out there in the mill. So, but unfortunately, people will starve during all the time that crap's happening.
I got a sacred promise, but he's restricted from doing anything.
I got a no on that specific promise.
So I got a secret promise. I don't know what that is, but won't come out for a long time, but it's restricted via courts or judicial action or what's law. So any secret promise he made wouldn't happen anyway. Zelensky's coming, but I hear everyone else is coming too. Vander, whatever her name is, the EU. She's coming, and Rudy's coming. Everyone's coming. They're not going to let them get bullied like last time. Rose Blue says,
is the question, will Zelensky come to the White House and bring a retinue?
No, he's not coming alone. So he is not going to get bullied this time. Protection. All kinds of cups.
They're still making their mind up about it, and there's some stuff that's going to come to light out of the secrecy that's going to make it much less likely. they do not want what happened last time, the tower time they had. They don't want us, the seeds to be sown, and they don't want to kowtow to Trump. So I think things will happen. So he didn't quite make it there. But what did you get? If you see him coming, fine.
The
Tomorrow?
Hermit, my outcome cards are the Hermit, Six of Cups, Queen of Wands. So here's your last time with the Six of Cups. The Hermit is kind of not being silly, making sure things are right. Queen of Wands could be that UN leader, whatever, I can't remember her name. That Dutch woman.
Mm-hmm.
So I have Wheel of Fortune, Ace of Cups, and my transition card. So changing the ways to make things better from the past.
I don't think it's going to be tomorrow.
I sense it's going to happen. It just, going to be different. They're going to be none of that BS nonsense with him alone. Let's move on this again. What's the energy of the gerrymandering thing?
Yeah, Sean's seen the map they want to use. That's one of the things he's going to talk about when he comes.
Cool.
Right, they're going to have to call another special session because they've gotten past the time on the one they called. And I don't know that all the Democrats are back. I don't know where they are.
Okay. The future of the Texas gerrymandering trial. What's going to happen? The future of the Texas.
Okay, they're going to get it done. They're going to draw the maps they want to, but they're going to really live to regret it because it's not going to turn out the way they think. It's going to cause them. And it may even get held up in the courts so that it can't go into effect. What you get, Scott?
Doesn't look like it's going to work out in their favor. They're still trying to illegally get it through. So I got Six of Cups, the Moon, and the Knight of Swords.
Mm-hmm.
So there's deceptive tactics, as done before, and trying to ram it through in a negatively charged way with that Knight of Swords.
Mm-hmm.
Then I have Hierophant, Hermit, and Queen of Swords. So we have government. The Hermit's laziness or waiting. And the Queen of Swords can be law. My outcome is strength, 10 of Cups, generally the happy home or my Democrats, 2 of Wands, short-lived, and the Magician. So I don't see it happening. It's either struck down or not having consequence.
Yeah, I got a feeling it gets tied up when it's done.
And I love how Governor Newsom's team is trolling 45 Democrats on Twitter. His Governor Newsom account must be run by a 30-year-old or less, just trolling exactly like 45 would tweet or something with all caps and thank you for your attention in this matter and that stuff. Just hilarious. I don't know. this ploy is not going to work. That's all I'm sensing is whether they get it done and then California gets it done and it's a non-issue or declared illegal. It doesn't seem to be having any teeth. Okay. How bad is our reputation?
Bad.
It is bad.
Hmm.
Let's see what the cards say. Morning, Beth. Okay. Let's see what the cards say. How bad will our reputation be after the felons are done and these Republicans and this administration gone?
Actually, not. People won't trust us, and it's going to take a while for them to understand that the population of this country has changed, where it's not going to revert back to where it was. But at the center, I've got the Knight of Cups. They see us as sort of the sweet talking knight that doesn't tell you the truth. But it's not just in this country, it's all over the world. So it's how are they going to trust leadership from anywhere?
Yeah, I'm getting there is damage. What they thought in the past. So I have 6 of Swords, my Emperor card, and then transitioning. So what we thought in the past was smooth sailing, respect and love back, and I transition into something different. Now the love is all gone with the devil, Knight of Cups, and heavy burdens on our allies. Moving forward, I think there's going to be conflicts. I mean, so the strength and unity will endure in the end, but it's going to be a tough transition.
Right.
But it's like once you realize you have good people back in there and respect and everything, it may take a bit, but damage is done. People have died.
Yeah, and the worst problem we're going to have as a nation, and really as far as the Western world is, the third world countries and the younger countries where we're literally starving them to death right now with policies we have. Those people are never going to test us. I mean, read your world history, kids.
Mm-hmm. You ever seen Jim Jordan's map in Ohio?
No. Oh, is it like we have ones that look like spiders, and we have one that it takes a day to drive from one end of it to the other along the south to try and keep it Republican.
There's a lot of them that are ridiculous. Jim Jordan is one of them. I think it's Thomas Massey's too in Kentucky. It kind of goes in the bottom and then it goes way up and then it goes over. Jim Jordan's similar. He's like cutting through.
We have a city council district in Dallas, and the reason it's cut like it is because we also have little villages that are in the middle of the city, so they make like a big U. But there's literally, we used to always joke about in District 14, if you drove through with both car doors open, the passenger and the driver's side, you could hit voters on both sides in that one strip of the district because it's such a skinny little piece. But it was to try and keep. It made sense because it was trying to keep two parts of the city that developed at the same time, that have the same infrastructure below the ground. So the city council person was working with the 1918 infrastructure, and that from both sides of that district. But I think eventually they redrew that district so it doesn't do that anymore. Yes, that is.
There's Jim Jordan's map.
Mm-hmm.
Where am I at? Yeah. That's Jim Jordan's map. Makes a lot of sense.
Looking for white folks.
Unbelievable. Okay.
So what other fun things we got?
Okay, Unstar. Okay, we look at Hurricane. Okay, that was asked about intelligence sharing.
Mm-hmm.
So what was it like in Helsinki? Let's say
Mm-hmm.
there was no court reporter or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You go to involved.
It could be intelligence that could be other groups. China would love to have a little microphone in there.
Was there conversations secret, or did they have knowledge?
Was intelligence from him.
Intelligence have knowledge of what they were talking about.
Okay. I got big fat no. I got 5 no's.
Ooh, that's a lot of news.
That's not NATO. That's not China. That's not anybody. Nobody got in there.
Intelligence. And then I get the 5 of Cups.
I had the 5 of Cups reversed.
So I got the Wheel of Fortune, 5 of Cups, 6 of Swords. So if they tried, it was not happening.
Mm-hmm.
So 5 of Cups is broken. Broken, unloved, unsolved. I do have a spy.
Mm-hmm.
I do have a spy. Next to 45, there was a spy near.
That'll hear from him what happened.
Yeah.
Think something like that.
So the Page of Swords next to 45 with the meeting, and maybe some documents or something, but there was someone near 45. It could be Secret Service, whatever, but I don't think the intelligence got anything.
Mm-hmm. I don't think it was formal, and I don't. First of all, how can we say that we want intelligence to listen to what they're saying when we already know that nothing Trump says is but trash that comes out of his mouth? It's all garbage.
True.
So we can't have it both ways. And I don't know.
Okay.
Rockland County.
What's going on with Rockland County?
Doesn't that case come up in early September or something?
I think it was the end.
Oh, okay.
Another hearing at the end after they were supposed to get a recount. The lawsuit go through. They're supposed to get a recount in Rockland County and then report back the end of September. I'm
going to ask if the outcome from the coming motions around Rockland County are positive. Is that okay? That's a good question.
Let's see what happens here. What's the outcome of the Rockland County election case? It's too bad you can't get reports earlier.
Oh my God. Yes. And they lead to the truth coming out. And it's these people walking away from what they thought they knew and believed. There's still going to be a small pause of time before it happens. Republicans are going to not be happy. People are going to realize there's real problems in this land. But this is my 7 of Wands in this deck. You see, it's like he's got all the pieces. It's finally putting the puzzle back together and figuring out what the answer is. And the answer comes out as a sword of truth. So I think it's going to be a positive outcome. Let me see if I can get a date, a time.
Good. So I get 6 in the past position. I get 6 of cups, Knight of cups, and Knight of coins.
Okay.
So 6 of cups has been done before, or
Going back to the home.
going
Whatever.
back to the home. So Knight of cups is angel protection. Knight of coins is finding evidence. I think it's a matter of finding the evidence. Moving forward, we have governmental sources, Ace of Cups, and Knight of Swords. Government. Rockland County case.
It's going to happen between
It-
September and October. The final the way it's going to fall, and it's going to be positive.
So yeah, I got governmental inspections here and positive outcomes with the Ace of Cups.
And this is what I saw for some people. They get trapped. They get caught. They get confined.
Yeah.
From it.
And I think it'll prove the woman won.
Mm-hmm.
We have the Queen of Wands here. Secretly, here's the loss, right?
Mm-hmm.
5 of Cups is losing, but secretly proving the woman won. So this is a good outcome. Moon is October.
Yeah, see, I had 8 to October. I had 8 to 10. That's the cards that were showing up in my reading.
Nights are autumn. The coin is autumn. Yeah, it's all over as far as timing, but yeah, this audit will prove that something ain't right in paradise.
Mm-hmm. Hi, Crone's Own ladies.
Need a better deck for this. Okay. Nightmare.
Oh, I'm gonna get my life is but a board game.
Liz is asking about the next 4 weeks.
Okay.
It has been a nightmare.
Mm-hmm.
I do too, D. This whole administration has to go. We need this illegitimate president gone.
Well, I was talking to somebody that's going to be on Psychic's profile, and he and I were talking, and he's been channeling in a book with another channeler, and they're ready to go to press. But he said he saw from the end of August through September into early October, they were channeling in enormous changes, enormous amounts of information and change. And I said specifically, and he said, it's just, they know there's going to be enormous.
Oh, let's hope so.
Yeah.
Secret or not.
Are we working on a question here?
Yeah, next 4 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah, my cards are out. I seen that statement.
That's a good question. That's good. Oh my God. Wow. Woo. What you get, Scott?
Okay. This next week looks good. I got Chariot, Hangman, and Ace of Coins.
Mm-hmm.
Things are moving forward. We're going to see some prosperity, some kind of abundance, and it's going to make someone look pretty bad in a Hangman position.
No.
Most likely 45. So we're going to get some info this week, and it's going to be good. What do you think?
Okay, what I got was my first card was the Queen of Swords, and she's the supporter of truth and protection. And then we got the 5 of Swords, which is the win or lose. So it's going to be it's going to be clear what's going on. And the Knight of Wands, the messenger that thinks fast. A lot of information is going to be coming in. But then you got the 5 of Wands, which is conflict garden. And it's not going to be a restful time. Just put your seatbelt on, kids, because it's not going to be a place to rest. But what's important in this is you have two powerful symbols of change: the Queen and the Knight. I know this deck is kind of crazy to people, but you got two fives. Fives are change. When you have two fives like that, it means that whatever's going to happen is what's been making me crazy is they sit there and they just spin their wheels. I mean, it's kind of a different subject, but it's not. That Trump signs some stupid order with this bad handwriting, and then it gets taken to court and it gets stopped, and so everything's kind of started and stopped. Except if you read in the chat, some guy who walked up to somebody who had a Trump T-shirt on, he said, "Oh, like your T-shirt?" The guy said, "I did too until I lost my job last week." And the guy said, well, you get what you pay for. And there's a friend of my daughter's who's an older woman who's a Republican. In all other ways, she seems like a same human being, but she's real Republican. She's like my mother. And she needs a new computer. And I told my daughter, I said, you tell her to hop out and buy one now because they're never going to get cheaper. They're going to get only more expensive. And she said, no, I'm not going to advise her about that. She voted for him. Let her pay the price. Okay. That's my smiling daughter, my dear sweet child.
So did you do a full 4 weeks or did you do per week?
I did. That was this upcoming week.
Okay.
You want to do the next month?
Yeah, she asked that next 4 weeks. So I put 3 cards for each week. That's what I did.
Okay.
So week 2, I got a 3 of Swords.
Okay.
Someone's going to have some heartbreak. Queen of Wands and Knight of Wands. So we have positive energy focused around a female.
Mm.
Oh, maybe the women are going to be speaking out more, causing a lot of heartbreak for 45. I think we're going to have more info on the JE, the Jeffrey stuff.
Okay, are you ready for me to do the second week?
Go ahead.
Okay. What I got is after the illuminating information that's going to be brought forward, bringing about change, all the hermits are going to be out in reverse, which means all the news agencies are going to be truing us. And we're going to have people trying to stop forward movement. And the provider of charms upside down, which is Trump, will have no sway in that week. So the next week is going to be after all this information comes out, then they're going to line up their part against it. Okay, that's where
that makes sense. What I got, yeah. In 3 weeks, 2 of coins. So we got some shuffling of information. Then we got a tower and the 6 of coins. We have deals. We're going to hear different information and there's a drastic change.
Mm-hmm.
So we did say September is going to be wild. That's September.
Mm-hmm.
This is the first week of September. So we're getting information being come out. Then we got heartbreak on someone from my side here, and then they hit a tower in 3 weeks.
Okay, what I got is there's going to be an overflow of emotion. That's just the Ace of Cups reversed, and so everybody's going to feel like, well, where the hell is this going? But that's because all of a sudden the abundance legacy, which is the 10 of Pentacles, people are there. That's a rich abundance of information coming out. And we have messengers that are clear thinking coming out. And so they kind of undo what happened the week before. And then I like the next week.
Yeah.
The next week.
Yeah, I got in 4 weeks. The Emperor feels like he's going to run away.
Mm-hmm.
Emperor, 3 of Wands, wanting to run away, seek help. And then I have a King of Wands. This feels like the King of Wands feels like a reporter or someone that wrote a book, backing up evidence. You know, it could be like the Wall Street Journal or something like that too. There's quality, backed up information, more coming out with stories. And 45 is going to want to run away.
Okay, what I got is that the Queen of Swords comes out, the supporter and protector of truth is going to be out loud and proud. They're going to, we're going to realize how bad our information structure is at the end of that week, because we're going to realize how hard it is to get anything that's based on facts. But look at what happens by the end of the week, Scott. This is what everybody's been running from: justice.
Ooh. Balancing. Justice. Make things fair.
Well, if you think of what we've been through as spinning your wheels and going nowhere and being on the side of the road, just totally strapped, if all of a sudden changes really hit in that start moving things, they'll move fast.
Well, they're trying to do everything they can to distract from the Jeffrey stuff.
I know.
Will there be an increase of younger progressive Democrats voted into Congress in the midterms?
Okay, I'm going to use my more traditional deck.
Okay.
Sean certainly hopes so. That's who he's working for. But you can ask him.
They lost last cycle. The youth got better in Wisconsin against the older MAGA establishment.
Trust me, that's what they fear, because when you get into the younger population in Texas, it's 3-1 what white people will call the minority, but actually we're in the minority here now. So who are the majority are people of color.
Happy family relationships. Yay. Okay, where's the youth, huh? In the past, the youth haven't been able to break through. The King of Cups, Seven of Swords, Hermit. That's obviously the lies and manipulation that got into the media. So the soul searching with the Hermit and the reflection never broke through because of the media information lies. Then I have a changing of times with the Eight of Cups. 10 of Cups is a happy home, satisfaction within government, the Hierophant, spiritual enlightenment. That's in the current energy. So the current energy feels like, yes, we're going to move away from. Then I'm showing the Emperor has crisis and possibly gone. So I had the Emperor having a tower affected by a Queen of Swords. Emperor gone would be definitely helpful. But it's showing that Emperor's having a tower moment. Ruined plans, disgraced, upheaval. Outcome, 10 of Wands. It's a lot of hard work. People to get there. 9 of Wands. Defending what you believe in. Queen of Pentacles. More women. And Page of Swords. It doesn't show in this spread like a boom of increased youth, but it shows a change. We're still going to have to be worried about the deceptive ones with the Page of Swords.
You mean the old fart connection? Scott froze. No, okay.
So I'm getting more women.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I lost my signal a bit. I think we're back.
Did.
My Wi-Fi died down again. Okay,
what I got is it's been deceptive. It's been hidden behind the moon, but they're going to find their own way to do finances because they're being blocked a lot of ways from the more traditional financial support. But because of something surrounding the Queen of Cups, there's going to be a complete change. That's a yes to them moving in there. This is death. This is complete change. The cards I saw looked good for them, except they won't. This may be a case of where if you think there's someone near you that's worth supporting, put your $10 in. Thank you for your 20.
Thank you, Carol. Yeah, I mean, I seen the change there, but I didn't get a lot of younger, like knights and pages that would say yes. So yeah, young progressives.
Mm-hmm.
To me, it showed more women and change.
Women have been traditionally left out of a lot of it, and
oh, we already said there's protests coming up on Labor Day.
Oh, fine.
I didn't see. It seems like there's protests going on all the time. Like
all the time. There's some lady, they showed her on the news. She's 104 and she was out protesting. She's been out every week. This week was her birthday. She'll be 105 at her next protest.
Oh, nice. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Doesn't get any better than that. Big protest.
Mm-hmm.
Angel influence. The 10 of Cups. Mm-hmm. Strength. Courage. Bigly good protest.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yes. It's people are looking at it as a time they're really beginning to understand and get together and feel connected. They're still feeling, everybody still feels connected behind the Queen of Wands bringing in change. And they're ready to get rid of the burden that we've been carrying. And they're really frustrated with it. They've made up their minds. This is Two of Swords reverse. They've made up their minds to go out and make their hearts and their minds known. And we just need to keep doing it and not expecting an immediate payout when we do it. Like it's all going to change tomorrow because we all showed up on a street corner somewhere. Because remember, what they're doing to DC could be in your neighborhood tomorrow.
Okay. What are you meaning here, Rose? I see Sean's back there waiting.
Okay. Yes, Rose Blue, that's an astrology question. The next eclipse will affect Trump, but go watch.
Did Dorothy have something on it?
Huh?
Did Dorothy have something on the eclipse or anything like that?
I'm going to have Dorothy on my show Tuesday. You can ask her then. She doesn't do politics, though. Andre Carr had something on it.
Andre did.
And Pam Gregory put out a thing 4 days ago. That's a good long thing. Look at the whole eclipse, and she mentions it in there.
Okay. Well, Sean's here. Let's have Sean talk about his experience, and we'll see how much more time we have after he's done, okay?
Okay. Turn your mic on.
There you go.
Amateur move. Hello, everybody. How's it going?
Good morning, Sean. What interesting stuff you got for us?
Well, everyone's talking about the redistricting, and I'm still sitting in Texas, and it's been all over the news. But I think this is really backfiring on the Republicans by quite a bit, simply because there's a bunch of other factors that are in play right now. I don't know if any of you have seen, but the approval levels of Trump are going down, but it's where they're going down that most fascinates me. So when you redistrict, you redraw maps, understanding the data that you have, which is not where we're going to be in 18 months. We're going to be in 18 months will be very different from where we are right now. We're different now from where we were 3 months ago. So you can imagine 6 times that, you're going to even see more of a change. And what we're seeing is that Trump is losing votes in our approval. We don't know. He's losing approval with young people, which anyone under the millennial generation is the largest voting generation, technically by percentage bigger than the boomers were. And they were the
Mm-hmm.
largest voting generation for the last 60 years.
Mm-hmm.
They're being replaced by a bunch of 20 and 30 somethings that are effectively more unemployed than Gen X was in the 90s, which is insane. So you have the largest voting generation in the history of our country. You've got social media, which gives people access to information like what I do on my channel, but there's millions of us now instead of just ABC, NBC, CBS, CNN, MSNBC. There's a plethora on the spectrum of moderate to extreme left to extreme right, and then math driven. And so I think their access to information is infinitely larger than mine was when I was their age. And I think that's all going to come to fruition. I think that they're going to register to vote. It's not difficult. They're going to turn out in these midterms, and midterms are interesting. I always tell candidates if you're going to run during a midterm. It costs almost half as much as running during a presidential cycle, and that's because there's about half as many voters. Well, if you've got a large group, the largest group ever of motivated voters that are going to vote, I'm not quite sure redistricting is going to solve your problems. You can't redistrict a state, and you can redistrict congressional seats. Great, but it's also based on old data. Census data that was made during COVID and just before and after and during COVID. So I think some of it's pretty flawed anyway. And they're talking about doing a new census. That's people have no idea how expensive and how much manpower it takes to do a census. It's not going to happen. It takes 4 years to plan one, and they want to do one in 18 months. Not going to happen. That's a joke. There's just no way. So what I'm seeing that the reason that they're redistricting is because people who are on the dark side of the force, unlike me, I'm on the light side, but they look at the same math I do, and they have to see the exact same things I'm seeing. And what I think we're going to have is a huge explosion in a cycle that generally has low voter turnout. So whereas maybe that production would only move the needle 5 or 6 points in a presidential cycle, it could move it as much as 12 to 15 in a presidential cycle. So in a non-presidential cycle. So when you're looking at some of these races that are R plus 12, I think they're in play. I think anything where the Republicans have less than a 20% advantage, that basically means that the Democrats get 40 and the Republicans get 60% of the vote. If it's anything less than that, it's in play. And what the Republicans in Texas are doing is they're redistricting their races. Right now, they've got it the 40-60. They've made all their seats really, really safe. What they're going to do is they're going to make those seats a little less safe so they can give some points to some other guys. And then move some lines around. And I think we call it Nancy, what do you call that? The idiot version of dumb. It's like dumb gerrymandering. I forgot. They've got a cute word for it. It escapes me now. But it's dumb gerrymandering. It's where you gerrymander yourself into a hole because you're using data that isn't really relevant. I mean, the last midterm that Trump was president, Democrats picked up 25 seats. So this time, a lot of his voters have passed away, since his voters tended to be older and white, the generations are changing. We are now, almost a decade later, and we're sitting here and we're looking at this data and we're going, if the millennials show up, Trump's cooked. Now, I'm curious as to where they're going to go. They could vote Democrat as a protest vote. They could vote independent. They don't dig parties. They have no party loyalty at all, because both parties have effectively taken a giant, poop on their generation. So there's no loyalty there, and there shouldn't be. I mean, Reagan defunded their education system 20 years before they even got there. So I feel like I feel like that they're probably going to vote for Democrats as a protest vote. And then there's going to be a lot of Democrats who are going to assume that they're on our side now, which they will not be. And then we will make all sorts of mistakes in 2028. But that's where I see everything kind of going right now. And in fact, my show today is going to be on the real math behind the drop in approval rating by generation for Trump. And Trump's top of the ticket. Trump's what every Democrat should wrap around the neck of a Republican and drop into the river. And that's what I hope they're doing.
Yeah, we had a comment today, Sean, in the chat where someone said he ran into someone with a Trump t-shirt on, and he said, "Oh, see your t-shirt." And the guy said, "Yeah, I supported him. I voted for him." He said, "Until now." And the guy said, "Now?" And he said, "Yeah, I just lost my job."
And obviously it was the last day of laundry day.
It
was the last day of laundry day.
Yeah. So he's down to that t-shirt, right? We all have, Sean and I have several of those t-shirts.
Oh, yeah. I actually am having all of my political t-shirts over the last 28 years made into a quilt.
Yeah.
I have cut out the fronts and,
Yeah, my mom did that for me. All my old softball shirts, all the bars I played for and whatnot. And I have a big quilt over there, about 30 different, from my past of memories, and that's a good idea.
Yeah, I have a giant bag of unique political shirts. Some candidates aren't even alive anymore, and so I have them all, and my friends. One of my best friends from college, my old roommate, his wife got really into quilting during COVID, and she's wicked good at it. So he just told me to box it up and ship it to her, and so there you go. That's what I'm gonna do. It's gonna be great. So, are there any questions out there in the multiverse about the election coming up? Because I'm happy to talk about.
Carol V has one, Scott, at the very bottom.
Okay. Well, so there's no math on that. The rigged machines, I'm yet to see anything. The only report I saw that was written was based on a footnote of a what if the NIS did ever, as a what if scenario, actually do that investigation during the Biden administration. I know there's a lot of conspiracy stuff that's going around out there, but there's literally no math. I've seen no quantitative report that's backed by any science or anything. And I Snopes everything that comes through. I Snopes everything. I recommend everyone else does too, because I saw something that was that impressed me, because I'm a numbers guy. And when I Snopes it, I found out where they built literally the entire, and it was very impressive, 15 pages long, lots of graphs, lots of information, all based on nothing. It was based on a couple of
supposedly what if scenario, and we won't until that lawsuit comes out. That's what people ask.
And when I see that, then I will change my mind. Yeah. But until then, please go vote.
Right.
The rigged machines.
What's your opinion of the high number of bullet ballots? Like Wisconsin had, I looked in the numbers in Wisconsin, there was approximately 30,000 votes for Trump only.
Oh no, absolutely. I believe that, because having coordinated the knocking of about 1 million doors in Wisconsin during the 2024 cycle. I can speak directly to that.
Yep.
I actually processed all the polling. It was insane. There's a couple of findings. One was there were a lot of Trumpers. They're a cult.
Right.
They're not voting for the Republican Party. And we see it actually in non-presidential cycles. The Republicans do about 3 to 5% worse when Trump's not on the ballot. That's what happened in 2018. 2020 was a unique cycle. Biden won, of course. And in 2024, Trump was back on. And honestly, the Republicans were supposed to pick up a whole bunch of seats, but they didn't. Right? The Wisconsin went for Trump, but we actually, the Democrat, and when I say we, I mean Democratic Party, we actually won seats in Wisconsin. And that wasn't unique. They won seats all over Democrats won seats all over the country. But of course, the only thing anyone cares about is Trump, and for lots of good reasons. But it wasn't just Wisconsin. It happened all over. It's because that is a movement of personality. And what's really interesting is that we saw this in 2008 with Obama. But because of straight ticket voting was much more prevalent back then than it is today, it's not, I think the divide I think a lot of young people walked in and voted for Obama, but hit straight D because hit the one button and go. And in Texas, they got rid of it, I think, for that reason.
Oh, they did. That's what they said it was for. Absolutely.
And plus, they were losing judicials at the county level all over the state. So my thinking is the answer to that question is it's a cult. It's always been a cult. All data points to a cult of personality. It's strictly a personality-driven campaign. And he constantly says that all politicians are corrupt. Don't trust any politicians. Well, Republicans are politicians. So, I mean, he's telling in a backdoor way his cult not to vote down ticket. Hell, he tells his people not to vote at all.
True.
Well, when Sean's saying a cult, he's saying the letter A space CULT, not the word OCCULT. Yeah, you got to understand the network you're on.
A cult.
Yeah. A cult. Not So Sean,
the Mini G. This is a discouraging time. Are you fired up?
Oh, 100%. I never got unfired. So I'm sitting in a meeting in Wisconsin 7 days after Trump just won, right? I'm sitting there with some very, very important union and party people. And they're all obviously depressed. And they looked at me and they're like, Sean, you're just not feeling like, I'm not getting that vibe off of you. I'm like, absolutely not. I'm a Texas Democrat. Whereas you see nothing but depression, I see nothing but targets. This is what we call a target-rich environment. I love targets. That's what I go after. It gives me something to point my canvassers at, to point my data at, to point talking points, and all the other stuff that we do, all the messaging. Now we have some place to aim it. It's refreshing. When you have a Republican Party that's, got no juice at all, and you won everything. What happens is the party gets soft. Democratic Party gets soft. And we saw that in Texas in the 80s and 90s. And that's why we're here dealing with this redistricting right now. It's because the Democrats that were in charge of Texas back in the 80s and 90s got real soft. And and that's when I don't know if everyone remembers, this is the first time Democrats have left the state. The Democrats left the state in 92. They left the state in 02. They left the state in 2012. And here we are, this is not a new thing. They leave the state every time
the Republicans get their
every time the Republicans have been gerrymandering since basically they took over everything in the late 80s. So So, and the reason that they were able to take over everything in the late 80s is because the Democrats got soft. They ran out of targets. That's why it's really interesting when I'm watching, these different Democratic groups that are going after all of these safe, entrenched over 70 Democrats sitting in Congress that are in super safe seats. Well, these guys haven't had to run a contested primary in decades.
Mm-hmm.
If I were going to create a group to change the Democratic Party, that's who I'd go after. Because none of their staff knows how to run a field program. None of their staff knows how aggressive, progressive messaging. That's why all of the so-called experts were so amazed with that New York mayor race. What? Housing, childcare, food. He ran on that.
Mm-hmm.
That's not a complicated message. Also, yeah, it speaks to everyone, especially that group that I was just talking about, those 30-somethings that are trying to have kids, trying to buy a house, trying to start a career, and they're not able to because, well, the AI and technology and manufacturing and automation, all the stuff that's been eaten. And so it really, I'm a Gen X. We're the smallest generation this country's ever seen. No offense, but I think the boomers were up partying in the 70s, and not all of them bothered to have kids.
Not all of us, obviously.
Some of them were partying. Not all of them, though. But anyway, that's my point. My generation's been stuck behind the boomers, picking up the leftovers for a very, very long time. And now we're coming in, and the boomers are, of course, all retiring. Well, we're the only generation that's replacing them, which is fine because they've automated so many of the jobs. We're doing 3 or 4 of the jobs that it took 4 boomers to do. And it's not because the boomers didn't work hard, just that we have better tools. Well, now the millennials are running into that. The problem is they're an enormous generation. They're huge. So they didn't have the advantage of them not just being that many of them. There were just not many of us. So that's kind of the math that they're running into. And I'm going to tell you, I use AI in my work, but I'm also a pretty small firm. We don't have the writing staff it would take for us to do all of our pitches and proposals and vet all of our writing and all of our everything, after action reports, you name it. I run everything through AI. But it would normally take me 3 staffers to do that. I don't have the money for that. So it's really not unemploying anybody besides just making me not stay up till 4 a.m. writing. But in a lot of cases, it is unemploying a lot of people. And it's going to be the ones that don't have as much experience, which is really interesting. How do you get experience in writing if that's not a thing anymore?
Yeah, true.
So what we do is we construct ideas and then have the AI write it for us. The ideas are what matter. The punctuation, all that stuff. Ironically, English teacher probably isn't alive anymore. All that stuff you told us we'd have to know for the rest of our lives. Not so much. So, yeah, I really feel like that's what they're running into. Can we get your opinion on the mayor's race? Oh, yeah, absolutely. You got my opinion. He won because he talked to the largest voting generation in the history of our country. That also means New York. And he told them food, housing, childcare. Those are your 3 most expensive things, period. And then probably utilities right after that. But let me put it this way. I have 2 children, and they're beautiful, and they're 11 and 13 now. And it also so happens Nancy's got 2 beautiful grandchildren.
Same two.
Same 2 kids. The cost for putting them in childcare in Austin, and this was 10 years ago, was the same as my rent in Austin. That's all you need to know.
It's expensive.
All he said was, I'm going to try and solve this problem. And they looked down at their checkbook and went, that's a $2,000 a month problem for me. Thank you. And they voted for him. That's how he won. It wasn't, he's talking about socialism, blah, 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 blah. Listen, Everything's socialism. The NFL is socialism. Social Security has the word social in it. What? Any company profit sharing. Profit sharing is socialism in a very small micro, you know? So it's a thing that works. But really what we need is well-regulated capitalism, not unregulated capitalism. And unfortunately, the 1% don't like that. And they give a lot of money to the politicians.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my opinion on the mayor's race. He talked about nuts and bolts. They want to talk kitchen table. Literally, he said, hey, I know you can't afford a kitchen table. I'll help you buy a kitchen table. And then we can talk about kitchen table issues. I mean, literally. So, yeah, that's how he won that race. Handedly, by the way.
Yeah.
Against multiple incumbents.
Yeah, I don't
think people realize how hard it is against incumbents. It's really, really hard. So, are there any other fun questions? Oh, here we go. Yeah. Yep. Okay. So I'd like to talk about the variants real quick. Do you know? And your audience, this is a rhetorical question. I'm going to answer it. Do you know how many presidential races have been won by a candidate who came in halfway? So that's not a variant. Harris losing is actually within all of the data that says she should not have won. In fact, you go to my YouTube channel, I have a show I did the day the Biden resigned and endorsed her. And I point out we have a problem because no candidate in the history of history has ever won, even against like a POS like Trump, has ever won a race coming in halfway, ever. And it's insanely hard to do. I can't actually think of one that's happened in a congressional, municipal, mayoral, you pick it. I'm sure it's happened, but man, it's got to be less than 1%. So if it's less than 1% and you can technically canvass, the candidate could technically canvass the entire district, and now you're saying, hey, you got to run in 50 states, even if you only narrow it down to the 12, it's still an insane lift. Also, there was no primary. A lot of people thought that the Democratic Party, and we're still seeing it in the polling. So I know everyone's like, oh, Democrat, no one likes the Democratic Party. I'm like, I'll be honest. I've worked with and for them for the majority of my life. I hate them, but the rest, then the other option's the Republican Party. And I don't like being haunted by my dad. So that's never going to happen. So, yeah, talking about as far as the voting patterns absolutely match all previous data. So there are no anomalies to speak of. The anomaly would be if Harris won. That would be the anomaly. And people don't realize that. MAGA as cult does not explain. No, absolutely it does. Sure. Voting universes reorganize themselves every 50 years. People don't remember, but Rick Perry, the former governor of Texas, was a Democrat. So you're going to tell me that things don't reorganize? They literally reorganize every 50 years. Republicans used to be in the North and Democrats used to be in the South.
Yeah.
So yeah, what we're in right now is, so everyone's talking about how the magnetic pole's in flux here because the core is, doing its thing, and it happens every, 15,000 years or so. Mm-hmm. It's reorienting itself. U.S. politics almost exactly, like if it didn't reorient right now, that would be the anomaly. So what people are pointing as anomalies, that's really just with a 30-year perspective. You go out to the 200 years that we've been around, you'll notice that it changes almost insanely predictably. And we are in one of those fluxes right now. So yes, from 10 years ago, yes, all of this is anomalous. But it's really not. It just looks like it because we really just remember the last couple cycles. I mean, I had the advantage of my father, who the only times I ever heard him yelling was when Reagan was on the television or the Cowboys were playing. So I had a keen understanding of when and what was going on in the political universe, even at a very young age. So a lot of people don't have that perspective. And also a lot of people haven't done this work for 30 years. So I've been watching this happen slowly but sure. Like 08 was actually an influx of that beginning of that change. And people don't realize Obama had been in office a minute when he won. I mean, literally, he hadn't even been in the. I mean, I met Obama. That was November 05. He had been in the Senate for a minute, and then he was running for president 2 years after that. As far as political careers go, his was insanely short, and that's because there was an influx of voters that were becoming more aware. In fact, those voters are now in their mid-30s. They were 18. So here we are. This all started with Reagan. Yeah, it did. 1982. You can draw a line. There's also some beautiful graphs. I've actually posted quite a few of them on my channel. You can draw a line from 82. It's pretty brutal.
Nixon was screwed up so badly that no one wanted to touch him. So they had to wait till they found Reagan.
Well, one could also say that a lot of what guardrails there were at all.
Reagan
for example, the laws around the special prosecutor and things of that nature would not have existed without Reagan. I mean, it doesn't do any good if you have all these rules and nobody pays attention to them. So we have to enforce them in order for them to be enforced, and that's really part of the problem. And that's why the Republicans are running around, because they know they violated so many laws in Congress. So many. The reason that they're trying to stay in power is so they can stave off the fight until the 2028 cycle, where I guarantee you the GOP is going to do a big mea culpa. Oh, they're going to have a bunch of the guys that are currently the assistants to the guys that are currently in charge will come and go, I don't know what those guys were doing, but this is my resume and I've been in all this and done all this. Yeah, with those same criminals. I mean, we should have known better during the Bush administration when most of his staff came from the Nixon administration. So, yeah. Social scientist. All right, cool. Mm-hmm. Yep.
So there's been a couple people on here said they couldn't find their vote being counted when they logged into their My Vote or whatever.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's sheets. Sean and I know them all too well, but you pull off your county records and we can see if you voted for the lowest school board, and when you have a
I would go to the county elections office. So in law we call it the best evidence rule. I wouldn't go to My Vote. I mean, it's a nice system and service, but if you do see an anomaly like that, I would go to your elections office, and I would go in and I would buy the voter reg. I hate to say it, they're going to charge you for it, but if you really do think you got screwed by your elections office and your vote wasn't counted, don't go by My Vote. My Vote's like a third or fourth party. They're buying their data from other people who bought their data from other people who got their data from the voter reg. So that's not the best evidence rule. The best evidence would be from your elections office. You can go look, then you buy the voter reg with complete voter history, and you should be able to see every primary and every general that you voted in. Not who you voted for, but what you voted in.
Yeah, right.
And that's where you would actually get some more data. And then if you can get there and you have proof that you voted, that is to say you violated the law and you took a photo of your ballot, which at this point seems like not a bad idea. But the reason they don't do that is because people sell votes that way. I'm just letting you know. It is against the law. But if you can find a way to prove you voted when you vote, you know, then, and if that means you put your phone and you're streaming it as you're punching in, but you can't tell anyone, you know, you're not telling anyone how you're voting. You're just like, look at me, I'm voting. Look at me.
It's
Maybe
hard
that's what
to
you
do.
gotta do.
Hard to do in Texas, where there's big signs that say "Turn off your phone before you enter here."
Yeah.
You're not
So
allowed to do that.
I usually take a picture of myself walking in and walking out with my little sticker, making sure they can see the polling location behind me. That's
And
what I do.
I don't know what they do. Scott, do they make you sign a thing when you sign in to vote? Because in Texas, they always make you sign a little thing.
Not anymore.
Not anymore. Yeah, that's OG mom.
Everything's just been done by the computer.
Yeah. Well, see,
unless
even though
in Wisconsin, if you're registering to vote on the election day, then of course you're signing.
Oh, that's right. You guys have that.
Yeah.
We don't have the thing. We don't have. You have to,
So
in Texas, you have to vote. You have to register a month before the election.
Yeah, since I've been registered, I think it's been 2-3 years. Maybe I think 2020 I had to sign, but now everything's because I walked in and to vote, and I'm like, then they had everything on the computer then.
Yeah, the Biden administration did a lot of digitizing after the 2020 because of COVID. Ironically.
Yeah, and then finally in Texas,
maybe it was 2022, something like that. But
in Texas, you used to get a cute little punch card thing, but it had nothing written on it. It just, and so the last, when Biden got elected, they put that you had to print who you'd voted for on the little card, which was great because now you had, I mean, every card had proof that that's what had been voted on, and you could look at it and see it, because before you used to have to.
It's a receipt.
Yeah, we used to.
It looks like a receipt from Walgreens. It's like this. It's like this long. Yeah.
But that's the thing you put in the machine for the county to get. But the first time they printed it, it was like, hey, this is a good deal. Now they print it so small that even with my very best glasses, and my eyesight is very good, it's worse than shampoo labels. I mean,
it's like 3 font. Yeah, it's pretty brutal.
It's horrible. Election office and county required.
Yeah. Oh, good. Yeah, go to your elected officials. Absolutely. I mean, honestly, guys, go to your elected officials. Go to the county elections offices. Get some real hard data on this. Don't trust my vote. Definitely don't trust. I wouldn't trust anything but your county office and your own eyes, because you understand if you go to any of these websites, they all have advertising on them, right, guys? They're making money, okay? So understand that there's, and they have to be able to afford the website and all that. I'm not barring anybody from making any money, but I'm just saying, if all of a sudden people are like, oh, make sure you go to this website so you can check this and such and this and such. Well, a lot of people are going to go do that, and the advertisers know that because of the algorithms, and then that website makes money. My advice is go to your elected office, go to your elected officials. Go get your original source data. Don't trust a third or fourth party. It's just not. For one thing, it won't stand up. And if you're making that kind of accusation, there's a lot of people out there making accusations, and they're all falling flat, which means that if there is a real problem out there, there's a really good chance of just falling flat. It's kind of like the boy who cried wolf. A lot of wolf crying going on out there. Until there's real hard data. And anecdotal does not count. Even if you have a bunch of friends, doesn't matter. You need real hard data to disprove this stuff. And the second I see something, it'll be on my channel. But until I go to Snopes, and Snopes takes less than 3 seconds to tell me exactly where to go look and find the original source. And literally, the last time I did it, it was a footnote of a what if scenario for NIS investigations. That is not a and I'm not kidding. They literally, from that little footnote, built an entire nonsense machine off of it. Probably made a lot of money on it too.
Okay.
Nancy mentioned something to me about Unless you don't want to talk about that yet. So
He doesn't want to talk about it yet.
No, I mean, I'll talk about it a little bit. It's fine. Because
Okay.
it's not just Wisconsin problem. In the last 48 hours, I've done a little bit. Well, actually, since we had dinner, Mom, last night, I've actually been on my computer quite a bit. So this actually goes into a lot about how parties recruit candidates and how candidates decide if they're going to run. So one of the things that you look at is what am I running up against? Like, who's the opposing candidate? And how much money do they have?
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, it's the money. 9 times out of 10. And, so for example, in Wisconsin, there's a group called the Republican Association Republican Assembly Seat Campaign Committee, RAC for short, I guess. And what I've discovered in enough seats to make me want to go and look at the rest of them is that RAC goes in, donates $1 million, sometimes 1.2, sometimes 1.3 million, to a campaign that then pays that. So that's what we call what they've collected in their campaign donations, right? And then you have donations.
It's their war chest.
Yeah. But it's in their war chest, right? And then you have expenditures, which is the money that goes out. It's just like a checkbook, the money that goes out of a campaign, right? So they get this 1.2. So now it's in their combined and adds. So you add up all the money they've collected from everything from $50 to that giant chunk. And what that is, that's reported. And that's really the only number these guys ever look at. So when you look at that, you're like, whoa, there's only 53,000 people in this assembly seat. They've already raised $1.4 million. That's insane. I'm not running against that guy. That's crazy. No one should ever run against that guy, except when you look at their expenditures. And so what I always do, and I learned a lot of this from Miss Nancy back in the day, how they spend their money is as important as how much money they brought in. Because if they're buying new carpet for their headquarters and not spending it on a field program, we want to know that. Because that's going to be the difference in their race. So I always look at expenditures, but most candidates don't. And why would they? Who cares how many door hangers they bought? They're looking at that 1.4 million and their head just blew up. So they look at that. I look at the expenditures, and what I noticed was that not only did that $1.2 million equal 97% of the total money raised for that seat, when it left the campaign and went right back to that original committee as an expenditure, so effectively the campaign donated the money back to that committee, the committee got 2 or 3 extra percent on top of that.
They were like a bank.
So in reality, a $1.3 million campaign had a $1.5 million donation that went in and went out. And that campaign only is $150,000. I'll destroy an assembly seat that has $150K as their operating budget. But you wouldn't know that unless you looked at expenditures. And that's what's been going on in Wisconsin. I have a very strong suspicion it's been going on in a whole lot of other states. Problem is, nobody looks at state house seats. They're just too small. 53,000 population size groups. I mean, it's not really a thing, you know? They have a win number of like 15,000, which is interesting, right? So what you do is, this is my fun little trick. So what you do is you want to know how much it costs to run one of those races? Let's say you spend $20 a vote. So normally at $20 a vote, if your win number is 15,000, you need to raise about 300 grand. That's if you have an opponent. But if you can make it look like you have $1.3 million, effectively 4 to 5 times, almost 5 times what you need to win, why would you bother? You won't even get an opponent. You won't even get a primary opponent. I think this is how the Republicans keep the crazies at bay in their own party as well. because a primary is even crazier than that. Your win number is a couple thousand voters in a race that size in a primary.
Mhm.
So last thing the Republicans need are a bunch of crazies getting into their party because they bothered to knock on 4,000 doors. So I think this is not only does it dissuade them having contested primaries, which cost money, it scares off potential general election voters. General election competition. And between those two, it allows you as a party to redirect that money in other places where you know you're going to need it. Like you've got 2 congressional races, Scott, the 1st and the 3rd. And if the Democrats don't go after those 2, they're morons. But in Wisconsin, there are 2 congressional. Everyone's talking about, we're going to get 3 congressional seats here. We're going to redistrict and blah, blah, blah. There's 2 perfectly winnable congressional seats in Wisconsin right now that you can absolutely take in a non-presidential. And I didn't hear anybody talk about those, but they're there. Anyway, but that's the stuff that
it'll heat up next summer.
Oh, well, they're smart.
They heat up now, Scott.
Right now.
People need to build. If you're not already elected, you need to be building your name recognition now. You can't wait till next summer.
Well, I think
they have to be bored with hearing the name Scott Allen.
Yeah, they got to hear Scott Allen at every door 5 times.
I think the same
knock, knock, knock. Please vote for Scott Allen. That's what they got to hear.
The same women are running in those districts again.
He thinks women are.
Great.
So
women do very well in non-presidential Trump administration elections. 2018 was the last one. That was called the Me Too cycle for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
I had a male candidate in that cycle, and we got obliterated. Not because my candidate was bad or anything. It's just he was male.
Yeah.
That was all it took. Because of,
there's
Sweetie Pie where you're gonna that's Satan and it's 10 million, yeah.
Gina's asking how do you think they spent $1 billion in the Harris campaign?
Oh, they're spending I did the math. The last few weeks of the election, they were dropping about $9,000 a minute in media buys. I did the math.
That'll burn.
That'll do it.
That'll burn through
$1 billion pretty quick that way. $15 million a day in Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, and Michigan. 2024. A day.
Yeah.
That's how you burn through $1 billion.
Well, Sweetie Pie, I think it's time for you to fold up and go back to East Dallas.
Well, I just remind everybody, CLSB Politics. That's where you can find me. That's CLSB Politics. I'm doing a show on the young people and what they think of Trump. That's what I'm doing right after I get off this show, and I'll be posting it today. So hope everyone can check it out. Good
deal. Thanks for coming on, Sean. I appreciate it.
All right, Scott. It was good to see you.
Yeah.
Talk to you later, kiddo.
Later. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Ta-da.
Ta-da.
Now you know why Linda G loves having him around her show. He's the only person I've ever seen that can talk around her.
Yeah, Sean knows his stuff, and he can just go from one subject to the next subject.
Guys, I taught him the mechanics, but he's put it all on paper, and he has spreadsheets that have spreadsheets. I mean, it's unbelievable. When he starts talking the numbers and you go over it with him, and it's all numbers we've proven in the past when you put the mechanics and the money together in the right way. But you can have all the money and the best candidate in the world, but if they're in a cycle like his guy was in, which was right after Me Too, he ran against 2 women, one of whom he ran against had been a Republican and became a Democrat. She came over to our party. What's the difference? Well, now she's sitting there voting like a Republican in Austin. So what can I say? We can explain it to you, but we can't make it work.
No. All righty. Thanks, Nancy. I gotta get going to my family event.
Okay.
And
what you got going this week other than your family event?
Just work. Nothing going on.
well, at noon, at 2 p.m. our time, I should be doing my next psychic profile, and I hope I'm doing it. Linda G apparently got ill yesterday, so I haven't checked my phone to see if she's coming, but I'll be doing the same 20 questions I did with Sheila last Monday on her whole psychic development. So if you want to come on over, it's going to be on my channel. And Scott's going to be there eventually. We're getting there slowly. And I've got a show Tuesday, same thing with Dorothy Morgan. So,
yeah, I trust those guys. They're digging in. It's a matter of getting a lawsuit. The judges say, "Yep."
They need one to go in with to break the dam, and then
they just need one to say yes and find out.
Also, no one asked about it, but I will bring it up, and then Scott can go be with his family. The former lieutenant governor of Georgia, who was a Republican, turning into a Democrat this week is huge. And that's what I've been waiting for. I've been waiting for the Republicans who do finally break through and have some sense of consciousness to break away, because I watched the Dixiecrats become Republicans because I was in Texas when most of them were shifting. I've seen this phenomena happen, and it's about to start happening. That's our ray of light. But
yeah, you gotta think it's gonna, with this moronic way of governing this administration is doing.
Well, we're finding all the flaws that all of us knew, kind of who worked in it, was there. It was all a gentleman's agreement, and when the gentlemen don't agree, it's time for the girls to take over, because we don't make gentlemen's agreements. Bye, Scott.
And we got that. You got to remember too, those special elections that went.
They've all gone
plus 15 in Florida. They didn't win, but a plus 15 is a huge shift. So I think we're going to get better, and
we'll go have a good time with the family, and everybody else enjoy your Sunday. But come visit at 2 p.m. Central Daylight Time, which is noon California time, 1.
You're trying to do that on Monday? On Monday?
No, it's today.
Today. Okay. Sounds good. Love and light to everyone. Thank you.
Bye. Oh, he left the studio.